Black violence, systematic racism and oppression, white male privileged authority. These are going to be some of the main topics of today's discussion. This kind of internal duality that I was going through being a Shawn Mendes stan, knowing that he has white male privileged authority. I feel like I have a very, very different perspective on how to get answers, because that's what we want. We want answers on why our government system seems to be failing us, seems to be against us, and ignoring the true nature of reality, which is that not all are gifted with the same lifeline. Not all are gifted with the same respect and honor. What really came to my awareness is the fact that what we're dealing with, okay, we aren't trying to change the future. That's what, well, at least I'm not, because I realize the future is unpredictable. There's no way we can try to figure out what the future needs to look like. And I was just thinking about last night how a lot of celebrities only take responsibility and really only take a stand for issues and only seem to care about raising awareness when it is kind of put on them through some kind of coercion. Like society will threaten a celebrity and accuse them of being XYZ. And so a lot of celebrities, honestly, I don't even think truly know what they're talking about. I think they just see that society wants people to say something. Society wants people to be on what they believe is the right side of systematic oppression. I'm talking about celebrities in general, not even just white privileged male, okay? I'm talking about Black celebrities as well. I'm talking about all different cultures and backgrounds. People are threatened and forced into having this image, right? In reality, society backs celebrities into a corner and says, oh, if you don't say that this, and this was wrong in our government system, or if you don't raise awareness for this, or if you don't speak up about this, if you don't post about this, then you're XYZ and I don't support you anymore. No, fuck that. That exact same process is what's happening behind closed doors. People who are innocent are put in a room and forced to say things. And what it does is it creates this false sense of conscience, of awareness. We have celebrities who are speaking up and taking responsibility for raising awareness for something that they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And that if they do know what they're talking about, 9 times out of 10, they probably don't even fucking care. But if they don't seem like they care, society is going to flip their shit. And my thing is, I'm not one of those people. I don't care about whether a celebrity stands on the right side or says something or stands up for the Black community or minorities. I don't care. This is what I'm talking about. We aren't actually trying to make progress. What we're doing is writing on a band-aid what we want the future to look like and then sticking it on the foreheads of people who have some kind of clout. My thing is, anything that these celebrities say has nothing to do and has absolutely no effect on politics, because that's what the issue really is. And none of these celebrities are fucking political. They may try to be. They may try to have some kind of say on our justice system and what is wrong and what is right. And they may do a little bit of volunteer, make a charity, make a foundation, show up here and there, and then boom, right? We call that them adding and helping us. No, fuck that. Do you know what the real problem is? For me, I'm talking about white male privileged authority, right? This is a global symbol of oppression, And B, change. This is really where we want change to come from. White, male, privileged authority. This is really the only determining kind of type of person that can actually make change. You want to know why, right? Because we think about today, right, and how we want a better future. We are trying to figure out how to take steps into the future, how to innovate so that we can get to the future, right? Where are the innovators, right? Where are the futuristic people who are thinking futuristically? See, this is the problem. I don't think we need to be going forward with our process of thought. I think we should be going back. We need to reverse the process of programming, because what really all of the males who are white and privileged with authority, what they are battling is a past, right? Memories, a collective consciousness that creates a memory bank. Every single white male with privilege and authority across space and time shares some sort of collective consciousness. They are all connected, whether they want to admit it or not. And what they're all battling is a memory of someone who was just like them, had the same exact conscious experience of being white, of being male, privileged, and with authority. When they look in the mirror, this is what they see. When they look at their reality, this is what they see. But what happens is that all of their thoughts, which are literally their past, their memories, are coming from every person with the same conscious experience who has ever killed, abused, oppressed, enslaved a black person ever at all. I'm talking about all the way back centuries ago, right? When there were masters running a fucking household and there were slaves that were his possessions. And according to the people, God looked like a white man with privilege and authority. We even see this today in connection with the image of Christ. He is illustrated in this same image. But a lot of men with this self-image have looked at themselves kill, abuse, enslave, corrupt the lives of black men, women, children, and then attached to those memories and attached to those images, right, is the feeling of either hatred or gratification. This is their past. All of the memories of men who looked in the mirror and saw the exact same self-image, right? He's battling their thought patterns. That is what we need to come into the light, right? What my purpose here is to raise the awareness of that and to encourage men who are white and privileged with authority to be vocal about their processes of thinking and the internal battle that they go through, trying to fight off and destroy the demons of their own past. Because a lot of men who are racist today are literally just a product of a man who lived before him and had the exact same conscious experience of the self. White, male, privileged with authority. And a lot of this authority is gifted to him naturally, because that's the way politics works. Previous episode where I was talking about Shawn Mendes and I was kind of expressing a lot of my thoughts about his battle because he fits into this category of being white, male, privileged with authority. My thing is, I don't give a fuck about apologies, right? I don't care about people apologizing for being racist. I don't care. That is what feeds society, right? They get off on making celebrities feel like shit for having demons and then not knowing what to do about their past and the fact that they're fucking privileged. And they ultimately don't have a fucking clue what it's like to be on the other side of oppression, because it will never be gifted to them. They will always be seen as having a likeness and an image of God, because this is what is programmed into our system of belief globally. I'm talking about global domination of white male privileged authority. What we want them to do is to be our future. We want them to change who they are. We want them to be better than their past. We want them to know what's right and what's wrong. We want them to be on our side. That's where I feel like I can no longer move in the same direction, move in the same forward process of thought that society is going in, because I don't think you can do that. I don't believe you can just try to erase from memory the fact that someone is connected to an entire past of racists who are just like them in self-image. And I'm saying men because, come on, we gotta be real here. It's about the masculinity. It is a dominating force. It is its nature to assert dominance, whether knowingly or unknowingly. It doesn't matter. That is the nature of masculine energy. And if we want change, we need to help refine the path that the masculine takes in order to achieve this dominance. But I don't think it's gonna help by being in a state of outrage and hatred and always being upset and expecting more from a man whose entire self-image is connected to programming that teaches him to hate anyone with brown skin, to hate feeling any type of empathy at all, to believe that he is God and that he should be able to assert his dominance in any way that he desires. In the previous episode, right, I was kind of saying like, okay, well, if a man with white privileged authority, right, if he is having racist thoughts, right, and he is going through battling his own internal desire to oppress, right, because it's there, to deny and to also condemn the fact that he will naturally always be a potential oppressor, is just simply an outright, like, one, ignorant, and two, detrimental to the actual healing that we're trying to achieve. To ignore the fact that any white man with privileged authority always will have the potential to become an oppressor, whether he does it knowingly or not. And I think that it doesn't help us to try to get him to deny his own potential. He needs to be able to address the fact that at any possible moment he could become an oppressor. And here's my thing. Here's the reason why I am dissatisfied with white male privileged authority that tries to innovate in a way that almost sculpts this image of himself that is in alignment with what it is society perceives as righteous. And when I say that, I mean like when they have a foundation, when they are trying to raise awareness about issues that they don't even fucking experience. Why are you trying to raise awareness of something that you don't even go through? Like, yes, you see it in the world, and I get it that maybe you have some empathy, but you aren't helping us. You're raising awareness on issues that you don't even fucking experience. Why are you raising awareness on that? Why? False promises. That's what it is. A false sense of evolution, of revolution. Because you don't even know what that feels like. Why are you trying to be on the right side? I just don't like it. I don't like it, and it doesn't sit well with me. Especially because of the simple fact that you're still using your privileged fucking authority to raise awareness. My thing is, anyone who is using it for personal gain, right? Like, if you in any way are benefiting, in any way, or taking advantage, whether it be positive or negative, I don't give a fuck. If you're taking advantage of the privileged authority that you have as a white male, you are adding to the karmic imbalance that exists within our justice system. And you are 100% being an oppressor. Even if you are using that to raise awareness and to help the community in whatever way, just because it looks good doesn't mean that it is progressive. Doesn't mean that it is healing. No, it just means you're doing what the fuck people want you to do. But you know what? What people want is not what they need. What we want, everyone who is a victim of oppression, what we want is not what we need. What we want is for them to see things the way we see it. That's what we want. We want them to feel our pain. We want them to have empathy. We want them to know what it's like to be us. But you know what the fucking truth is? That they won't. And them pretending like they do by saying anything at all about something that they don't even know what it's like, I think is fucked up. Whether you are creating a platform for us or not, you're not helping. And no one else is ever going to say that. Because we think that any help that we get helps. No, that's bullshit. Not all help is effective. Sometimes it does nothing but create satisfaction. But we don't need to be fucking satisfied. We need to be liberated. We need more than somebody who is gonna try to just fit in. Because that's the thing. When white males who are privileged with authority, right, create awareness and they are giving platforms to us to say the exact same fucking shit that isn't already heard by our system of government, you're not doing anything. Do you see what I'm saying? It is literally like fucking shooting a dead horse. What are you doing it for? What is the point? It doesn't help us. And that's the thing. That's also a part of the system, right? It makes you feel, right, like these men are using their fucking privilege and their authority to make us feel like they're doing something for us, and they're not. Ultimately, the only thing they're doing is using their power for personal gain. Whether it looks that way or not. The use of the privilege by itself is already a part of the injustice. Because you shouldn't even be using it at all. Even if it is to raise awareness, you don't know what that is like. So why are you giving a platform to these people to talk about all this fucked up shit that they're going through, all of the problems in the world, when they already aren't being heard? Like, more people being aware of injustice isn't gonna solve it. No, and no. Giving people an opportunity to help with the community, I don't even think helps. But do you know what I do feel like is gonna help? White male privileged authority that speaks up in a way that does not make them deny that they are fucking oppressor. Period. Don't try to talk about the awareness of issues that you don't even know what's like, my guy. And don't try to give other people that platform, because all you're doing is wasting your fucking power, right? You're not creating any change. It's like completely unprogressive. It's like just sitting in the middle of a fucking two-way street and seeing the cars go and go and go and go and go. There's no light. The cars are always fucking going. So you're just standing in the middle waiting for the cars to fucking stop. And like trying to get the car's awareness that you're trying to get to the other side. They're not gonna fucking stop for you. Some people are gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck this girl is talking about. But I think that that's the whole point. I'm talking about something that I don't feel like is traditional. So I guess the question is, if I don't see it as progressive for these white privileged males to use their privilege to raise awareness and to help, how are they supposed to be a part of change? Probably A, stop trying to be God. That's A. Because that's what all of these men are ultimately still doing. You're using your white privileged authority to try to be God. That's what you're doing. Ultimately, you're trying to help cure the world of fucking evil, right? But you're doing nothing but just adding to the imbalance and your own image as an oppressor. You're still taking power. Whether it is you using it to give the less fortunate a platform or to give the less fortunate resources, it doesn't even matter. You are using it. Stop using it, especially to make yourself seem like God. Come on now. I don't care if you are starting a charity or a foundation. You know, you cannot fucking heal the world of evil if you're too busy still creating it by being the power. Your white male privileged authority is what started this in the first place. And you're going to think that you giving us this platform, that you giving us this money, you giving us this voice, right, is somehow putting it to an end. No, you're literally still adding to the fucking stigma, right? The symbol of you being God, you being this privilege, you being this authority, because you're making people feel like they're heard, like they're seen. Now fuck you, man. Seriously. Actually, because that's the thing. People don't even understand when they're not helping. And that's what I feel like my whole point is, to raise awareness on that. Stop trying to help. Stop. Please. I'm begging you, because you're not doing anything but still brainwashing us into feeling like we need you for something, that we need your white fucking privilege. We don't need it. So stop trying to give it to us. Stop trying to help us raise awareness on the shit that your power and your privilege is creating. You can't try to stop the force of evil if you're still using it to make yourself seem good. It's still brainwashing us, programming us, conditioning us to not see the true nature of reality. You're not helping with our liberation. You're still enslaving our minds. And if no one else is gonna step up and say this, it's gonna be me. Because if any real change needs to happen in the Black community, it is us. We need to stop trying to use their power and their fucking privilege. That's what we need to stop doing, because it's what is creating our death. It is what's wiping us out. And they think that gifting it to us is somehow serving good. It's not. You're doing nothing but just hiding the fact that any kind of power that you give to us with your fucking privilege is oppressive. I don't give a fuck how it looks. And our people are trained to ignore that. We are trained to not be able to detect oppression. We think we are trained to see it in the media and how it appears in the media. Like police brutality. A Black person is shot the fucking death unarmed. That is what we are seen to recognize as oppression. Or if someone talks about our hair, it is this belief that our oppressor could ever help us. Ever. ever, even if he thinks that he can. Well, you might as well understand that is a part of the oppression. It is a part of the mental disorder, the sickness of oppressive men, to think that their privilege is power. I don't care if you are trying to help us. Stop it. Our people need to know how to get that shit on their own. We need to be able to rebuild mental strength. We need to be able to heal on our own, not using your fucking privilege, because it does nothing but cripple us and make us believe that we can't do shit by ourselves, that we need your privilege, that we need you to see us, that we need you to see value in us, and you taking advantage of that. The fact that we feel worthless. You using your privilege to give us that worth. Now fuck you, because it's exactly what created that worthlessness in the first place. So stop. Please stop. I'm begging you. And in my heart, do you know who the fuck I'm talking to right now? I'm talking to Shawn Mendes. I really am. Because I'm a stan. I really am. What I find impressive, I don't give a fuck about the reason why he did it, but the fact that he canceled his world tour, to me, was impressive. You want to know why? Because that is a lot, okay? A lot of power and love and lust for a white man who's privileged with authority to give up going on world tour, having those people fucking scream all that fucking money that he's making, man, being up there, people praising him, losing their fucking minds. I think it's impressive that he gave that up. But my thing is, he's still using his privilege every fucking day, man. And he's living his life, right? And I'm not even really trying to attack Shawn, but he is someone that I feel like has greatly impacted me with his art. Seriously, like, I'm a stan. Clearly, I have some internal issues at the same time with me being a stan, because as I appreciate the thoughtfulness, it's still oppressive. And for a long time, I couldn't understand. I was so confused. I'm like, Amina, why do you love this man, but you fucking can't stand him at the same time? And it's because he's contributing to the enslavement of my people by using his privilege to cripple us, or encouraging our disability. And that's the thing. We think that their power, we think that any help, I'm going to keep saying this, because we have been programmed to believe that any help from our oppressor is somehow effective and healing. No, it's not. They need to leave us alone. Give us time to heal. Stop infiltrating. Let my people heal their minds. I am begging you. It has been centuries of us looking in the mirror and seeing worthlessness, because all of our visibility somehow can only come from a man with fucking privilege and who is white. He always has to use that privilege to make us feel seen. Well, let me tell you, you don't have to. I would rather you do nothing at all. Because if it's one thing that I have learned about the nature of evil and the nature of oppression, is that it will always find an opportunity to encourage your hopelessness. I see it for what it is, whether my people do or not. This is why I can't sit here and tell my people to say no, to deny, to send away any power that is gifted to them through a white male who is privileged, because they're going to see it as an opportunity to feel like they're worth something. And the thing is, our demon looks like the version of us who's willing to accept any help from any white male privileged authority figure, whether he looks like an ally or not. Because that is the version of ourselves that was created by him. And we do nothing but fall in line. And if it's one thing that I want, truly, people may not agree with everything that I say. People may even think I'm fucking crazy. But you know what I care about? None of that. I care about real revolution, actual change. I care about my people. I care about our minds. I care about our voices, our sanity, our freedom, our will to heal without some white privileged man reflecting onto us powerlessness, because he thinks that his power is much greater than ours, and if he gives it to us, then somehow we'll be even more powerful. No, you literally are just proving my point. The fact that you think you're fucking God. No one can stop evil except for the universe himself. And if he wanted to do that, he would have by now. But you know why it seems like there is no God? Because every white man with privileged authority thinks he can save the world. That is a part of the systemic oppression and racism. The fact that you think your superiority gives you a greater position than we are. Because you look at all this money and all this fame and all this power that you got, and you think that you're better than us. You may not want to admit it, but you do. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be taking advantage of it. That power, that privilege. See, people think that racism looks like racism, that it sounds like racism. No, it fucking doesn't. It sounds like a white man who's conscious of his privilege and thinks that he can use his authority to make himself our God. We're looking at it all, especially racism, from the perspective of it being worth everything. Of it being worth something and it also being worth nothing. This is trifold. The universe is trifold in nature. The human being is trifold in nature. But it is not necessarily mind, body, soul, but more like everything, something, and nothing. And our experience is a collection of memories that we have, where we have either felt everything, where we felt something, or we felt nothing. And this is what creates our perspective, our behavior, our personality. And my thing is, when you look at racism, it doesn't just look like somebody who says, oh, I hate black people, or somebody who makes a fucking racist comment and is blatant and evident with it. No, that's the thing. Everything. Oh man, this is what I love of the universe. I believe that racism manifests, systematic racism manifests in infinite ways. And honestly, this is no like disrespect to Sean. It's really not. Like, I'm not trying to attack him, but I just want to stand up for my people. I really do. I really do. And it just so happens that Sean is someone that has resonated with me, and that I see what he's doing, and that I've had time to reflect on it and how I feel about it as someone who is on the other side of where he is. And when I'm looking at it, I had came to this conclusion, right, that I think a lot of the reason why I'm so upset at the fact that I supported him, right? This is kind of what I explained in like a previous episode before, but I think why Sean is also so significant is because he has blatantly expressed that he's for justice and equality and liberty for all, you know, that he is with this whole oneness and this whole unity, this healing type of, you know, perspective. Just as much as it's programmed in me to hate him, my love is also programmed. I realized that a while ago, actually, but I didn't really understand what that meant. You know, I just knew that I could feel love for him. And I've been really battling with the legitimateness. I don't know if that's a word. I don't really care either. Whether the love that I feel for him is legitimate, and realizing that he's a part of this system which also exists in the form of an industry. Period. Anyone who makes money from something that is taken from nature is a part of the fucking system. And so I'm looking at him, and mind you, I've been studying Sean for so long because I'm a student. I am a student, okay? And I care a lot about justice. I care a lot about truth. I care a lot about honesty. And I care about the nature of reality. And I don't like when I feel like some shit is off. And like I said, the universe makes everything, all knowledge in the universe is accessible, available, and visible. Always. Like, there is no knowledge in the universe that is hidden. Straight up. I would watch Sean's interviews. His personality is very much so a part of the programming, in that I am programmed to love him. Literally, I'm programmed to think that he is fucking amazing. And oh my gosh, like, you know, and it's so interesting because I have a lot of things on my page that are supporting Sean, seriously, because as a fucking stan, what else am I gonna do except for obsess over what the system has given me as some kind of evidence of change, right? So I'm laughing because, like, whoa, I have been dealing with this for so long, and I've been really studying this, man. I'm not playing. Like, when we are talking about racism, we need to look at it every possible angle. And you know what it also looks like is Sean. That's exactly what it looks like, right? Now, me being a brown girl, and I'm aware of what it feels like to be a victim of oppression and to see my people be killed and fucking enslaved and abused psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, in ways that they don't even understand. And I will do everything in my power to help us regain our awareness and regain our power to be present. And I'm looking at Sean and the portrayal of him. He consistently talks about issues and talks about raising awareness on things that he doesn't even know what the fuck is like. He doesn't know. He doesn't fucking know. And he actually says this. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's like evident. Like, he talks about the fact that him and the power that he has is fucked up, yet he still uses it to raise awareness on all the reasons why the power he has is fucked up. That's some fucking manipulation if I ever seen it. And I'm not blaming Sean for it, because it may not even be intentional, you know? Like, this could just be something that is programmed, right? Like, this is the way racism works. This is the nature of evil. It is infinite, and it will hold on. It will fucking work through anyone who is willing to keep it company. Anyone who is willing to ignore it. within themselves. Anyone who is willing to make it seem like they can put a stop to evil. There's this word, right, called collusion, right? Collusion. And when I was in my senior year of high school, I took this class. It was called Minority Majority, and then they like changed it to something that was a little bit more, I don't know, woke, I guess. Anyways, so in that class, we studied a lot of racial oppression. And if I'm being honest, I was so upset that I had got put into the class because I wanted to take art. I didn't want to literally be stuck in a building all day, losing my mind, and then have to, at the end, be taught about every bad thing that has ever happened to somebody who looks like me. I just wanted to go draw on a piece of paper, but no, the universe was like, no girl, you're gonna be put in this class and learn. So listen, this word collusion comes up when I'm thinking about the fact that I feel it is a part of systematic racism, that I see someone like Sean as an ally. And so collusion, right? Secret or illegal cooperation or conspiracy, especially in order to cheat or deceive others. Secret agreement or cooperation. It says collusion is a non-competitive, secret, and sometimes illegal agreement between rivals. The act of collusion involves people or companies which would typically compete against one another, but who conspire to work together to gain an unfair market advantage. Right. So one of the definitions of racism, that I remember my teacher had gave to us was when the government is in collusion with oppression, racism. And the thing is, the government doesn't just look like the fucking White House. It doesn't just look like a courtroom. No. It is a political community. A community, it controls society and all that impacts society. People think that the government just looks like something with the government's name on it. Absolutely not. And so, again, I'm going to say that one more time. Racism is when the government is in collusion with oppression. And so I started thinking about how every time I'm watching a Shawn Mendes interview, this man somehow seems to be completely against oppression and against injustice and against hatred and brutality and all of these things, right? But at the same time is using all of his systematic power, all of the power that the system has given to him. He uses it to create an awareness of racism. The collusion part, I feel like comes up when I think about how he knows all the right things to say, you know, like, and he makes you fall in love with him. And I started to realize, like, this is a part of the programming. Like, this is a part of it. This man has been in this industry and has been gifted all this privilege. And I think for me, it is the art of him portraying himself as anything less than someone who benefits from systematic racism. And they take full advantage of those privileges. Full. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to make it seem like he's a liar, because in reality, I don't know the man personally, but I know racism. I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like. And it is things like that, right? It's hidden in plain sight. Like, we see this man, Shawn Mendes, right? And he has this powerful message. And he's even talking about the youth and creating generations of liberation and change. And it is so perfect. Like, it's literally everything that we want to hear. All of it. And for a long time, I was just soaking it all up. And I was so pleased with the fact that Sean was aware of his privilege, aware of it. But as I began to meditate longer and longer and longer on that pleasure, it became pain. It became pain. And I started seeing it for its true nature. And it's kind of heartbreaking, because you have men who take full advantage of their privilege and then try to help us fight off the force that's giving them privilege, but they are working in collusion with that force because they take full advantages of it. And they try to make it seem like they're helping the karmic imbalance by tipping the scale, offering that same exact racist privilege to help those who are oppressed by it. Man, I'm telling you, that's some real fucking backward psychology. I swear it really is. And I just want my people to be aware, because it's not just Sean, it's everyone who shares his same likeness and image that becomes a symbol of oppression and then tries to hide the corrupt nature of his power, puts it in the background. If he uses it to give voices to us that make it seem like he's doing something good with it, when really it just decreases our ability to understand the true nature of oppression. I have been in this just complete emotional unrest, really, just feeling very disturbed for a while, actually. And this morning I woke up just like, ew. I woke up like, ew, why do I feel like this? Like, what is it really? And again, like, I'm not trying to personally attack Sean. I'm really not. And yes, I'm gonna say but. I have to fight back. I don't have to fight back, but if I want change, if I want to see the world change, I need to be vocal about all of the experiences that I've had and that I've come to fully and wholeheartedly understand in its true nature. As much as I am passionate about the love for Sean, maybe the love is real, maybe it's not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stop the fact that he is 100% taking advantage of systematic racism, and that my people, again, are trained to not see that as a form of oppression. Even if he uses that, right? Even if he takes advantage of it to portray a sense of allegiance, it doesn't matter. There's a moment of silence, I feel like, because wow. When I pressed record, I had a general idea of where this was going to go, but I didn't think it was going to end up here. If I'm being honest, I see Sean in a completely different light. Like, I feel like I understand it more. Everything that that has been brought to my awareness about men with his kind of personality, not to put him in a box, really, but men with his kind of personality, men who have privilege, take advantage of it, but also somehow want to be God, want to save the world from evil. Like, it is just not in me to ignore something like that, because there are infinite ways racism can manifest. And the more ways we can identify, the less we will unintentionally victimize ourselves, to lessen the amount of victimization that Black people feel, because that victim mentality is what gives people like Sean the opportunity to keep us enslaved. And I really hope that Sean will understand where I'm coming from, But then again, I can't expect that from him. I really can't. I mean, if I'm being honest, I can't expect him to know where I'm coming from this. He may feel completely attacked. I don't know. But I do apologize. I apologize to Sean for using him to define a form of racism that is hidden from my people, because I understand how that could completely destroy his image. The soul that I have connects me to every brown human being in existence, and my liberation, I must extend that to all if I want to truly experience freedom. And if I have to break down some walls in order to do that, then I'm gonna do it. You know, and like maybe one day I'll be able to meet him and like actually have a conversation with him and be able to genuinely express my gratitude for all that he has done to make people feel something, because, you know, I feel like he's just doing what he has been told or has been taught, programmed to believe is right. I do believe that oppression, like in some way, it doesn't really see skin color. It will use anyone. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, doesn't matter. And my thing is, if he has, you know, been doing this unintentionally, it's because he is also victim to this system at the same time. Because I think his intentions are potentially in the right place. In some way, he believes that what he's been given is some kind of opportunity to change the world. And that already within itself is a programmed response to privilege. Also, feeling like you can change the world is also like a part of that system of oppression. Like I kind of said in the beginning, everyone is battling demons. And those demons exist in different ways. It comes at you depending on who you are and your self-image. How do you view yourself? And that will completely determine the way your shadow appears. And in Sean, I could always see that shadow, but I just wasn't completely sure because I hadn't fully understood my own darkness. But once I had fully been able to embrace all of the lessons taught to me by my shadow self, I had then been able to understand all of the experiences created by my shadow self. Even one of those is being my love for Sean.